All right. Welcome, everybody, and awesome to see many of you appear into this webinar around the mastering the power of AI in contact centers. We're here today together with James Adamczuk. My name is Axel Albrecht. I'm from Duppal in the Netherlands. And in this event, we want to take you through the amazing changes that we have seen as a team and organization over the last year appearing within the AI capabilities on contact centers. So let me just open up my deck here and we'll get this kicked off. All right, you are in a listen-only mode for this event, but don't fear, you can still ask a lot of questions to us, and we really welcome you. Find the Q&A button on your client and send us your question. If they are really related to the slides, we'll jump on them immediately when we see them. Otherwise, we'll take the questions towards the end. James is going to present to us a little later around all the ins and outs of the product. How do you get you started around an AI interface in contact centers? But let me set the stage a bit with the options around where we are and where we're coming from. So this, I guess, is the hateful screen that everyone knows, right? It's the old IVR experience that we have been going through, where you have to wait until they announce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For me, real life example, this is my doctor's office. That's actually, if I have to make an appointment with my doctor, I have to wait until number 5 is being mentioned. When I get there to number 5, it will actually give me the option to then wait and get into queue, or probably have in the morning 20 to 30 people in front of me waiting to get an assistant on the line. Now, that is the poor experience. And if I just take this as an example, this could be so much better with an AI solution. So when I call in, my number is known in the doctor's office, right? Their CRM tool should know Axel is calling in. And by the way, they should call me Axel, because, hey, I feel a little young, so, hey, mention me by my first name, right? But if it's an elderly lady, you want to give the surname for that person so they know the number. They also know in the CRM tool that I called 2 days before with migraines. So the question then should be, they called 2 days before, hey, Axel, welcome. Are you calling again around the migraines? Yes, I am. Okay, confirmation. The intent is clear. Would you need another appointment with Dr. Blumel, who is my personal doctor? Yes, they know that that is my personal doctor out of a staff of 5. I have a slot available. They have the agenda at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Would you like that slot? Oh, that would be perfect. Thank you very much. Is there anything else? No, that's perfect. Great. Then we'll see you tomorrow at 2. No involvement would have been needed by any human interaction from the doctor's office. All the information is there. It's just how do you use that and put that into real life example to help users. So if we take the old way and see what is that calling people, right? So for agents, it's adding typically a 50-second add-on to their call around who are you? What's the reason for your call? Can I authenticate you? What are the last digits of your telephone number? What's your postal code, etc., etc. These times are really wasted times. So if that makes up 35 to 50% of an agent's task in doing these repetitive calls, then you can imagine how much more productive he could be if he wouldn't have to do that. And these are not the calls that an agent really wants. Let's face it, right? That is, it's adding an enormous amount of minutes wasted by agents a day. I see a couple of things here that I'm not going to point out. Read them for yourself. What are the annoyances and problems that people are facing when they have the old style of support? For me, the two that stand out is it's really the slow resolution. Take my previous example. How long does it take to get to the assistant and then tell the whole story again, who I am, why I'm calling, etc., etc. Hey, I've called before. She doesn't know that. The other part is the lack of personalization. I want them to know that I'm an individual. I want it to be treated as an individual in the way that I like, and I feel happy about that. So those things we definitely need to change. And we see that customer success leaders see that. They know that that is an issue, right? 77% say we need to prioritize that experience and make it better. But yet only a quarter say, I think we have it covered. So 2/3 still think it's not seamless, right? That experience that we are providing to users, it can be much better. And again, hey guys, if you want to ask questions, the Q&A button, push the button and send us your questions in between. Let me do one sidestep from me as a end user or a customer providing service to the agent. For me, that's important as well. My first job used to be right out of university, a call center agent for a company called Sykes. And I had, amount of calls to take, and my task was to take as many calls as short as possible. All right, we get to that point, what that leads to, right, in a second as well. But it was a repetitive task. Who are you? What are you calling about? What's the product? Can I get your customer number? What's your address, etc., etc. It's also the unpredictable volume of cases. It could be, that you take 30 calls a week, and then a system goes down. You're trying to deduct money from your bank account, and the cash dispenser isn't working. Now you get 400 calls. How do you take them? They get sent, and they're sent up into queue endlessly, and they have to wait, and they become unhappy about this. All those things could be easily handled. Another example, if that happens, my cash dispenser doesn't give me the money because here in Brabant there is a mistake or an error that it doesn't work. I call in, they recognize my phone number. They know, hey, Axel, we see that you are from Brabant and we have issues with the cash dispensers currently. But by 2 o'clock, we expect those machines to work again. And we do apologize for those issues. Maybe send you a little voucher for your inconvenience in this one. Does that help you, or do you still need to speak to a live agent? All those things could be nicely and very, very favorably be handled by an AI tool. Limited growth paths. Let's face it, right? A contact center agent is an agent, maybe becoming a team lead, if he's lucky, becoming a manager, maybe a trainer, but that's really it. Now imagine if we look into the AI world, and James is going to cover more about intent creation, queue creation, and that. But there's a perfect role for a support agent. He could become a manager of a virtual agent queue. He looks at, okay, do we understand with AI what the customer's asking? He could say, I need support, or I need assistance, I need help, I have a problem. All these should trigger the same result that we're saying, okay, now we can help you on that issue, right? So you need to get this hit rate up to 90, 98, 99%. So the AI becomes really, really reliable in addressing the issues that I have. There's a perfect growth path there available for agents. Oh, I see a question coming in here saying, okay, people claim AI in CX provides great productivity gains. Is it not a risk that companies just get rid of staff versus agents? Thanks, Mark. That's a good question from Mark. And I'm going to let James answer this one as well. My 2 cents on this. We've seen that with AI present in companies and using this to the best of their abilities, it raises not only the net promoter score, meaning more people are happy about the company and will promote it with others and say, great product, they helped me, awesome, I'm going to buy them again. And you have higher customer satisfaction. That also means you're going to have returning customers to this one. So this becomes more a revenue creation engine than a support and cost center in this one. So in my mind, a company would be foolish to let go of agents that are creating new revenue for you. My 2 cents on this one. James, do you want to add to this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good point. First of all, I think sometimes we don't give our, when you talked about being an agent, Axel, I was an agent when I was a student in Manchester as well. And I don't think we give our agents enough credit for working in innovative ways when they have the ability to do so. So I
Yeah,
was sat next to somebody on the train yesterday using ChatGPT on their cell phone. Your agents maybe sometimes could use the tools that are available to them to help deliver that better customer service.
yeah,
So delivering customer service in the traditional sense of a very kind of linear approach to that without these types of tools, that's kind of going to be fading away in the background.
yeah,
But what does it mean for the contact center and agents? Well, it means that roles, to your point, are going to change much more around knowledge creation and
yeah,
knowledge adoption, building great knowledge bases, being able to analyze the interactions we have with
yeah,
our customers to make sure that we're answering those in a great way.
yeah,
And of course, for things like the much more higher value conversations, that maybe lower volume, higher value,
yeah,
that's where potentially you can then start leveraging channels like video. So
yeah,
then your agent can be really present in the conversations that matter, and then let AI do the heavy lifting of other things. So roles are going to change. Of
yeah.
course they are, and it's an evolution.
Yeah, I like that, and if we take a look, let me just stay on this for one more second.
Yeah.
You look at numbers, right? So agents under the age of 25 stay on average a year in a call center environment. 50% of them leave within the first year. That means you're constantly in that mode of training, educating them again, finding them, hiring them in a place, like the Netherlands. It's really, really tough to find good call center agents and keep them. So if you can fix that issue, if you can solve that, crack that nut, right, so to speak, then you're going to be much happier in your environment. You're going to have a staff that stays longer and gets higher educated in this one as well.
Yeah, and save immediate savings on your bottom line by doing so, because we're not
Absolutely.
spending time on addressing agent churn issues. We're developing and growing our talent. I completely agree.
I'm turning back the circle back to our end customers, right? And probably the people that are on this call as well. So I just want to have one example of a UK customer. For the last 9 months in 23, they've moved over to an AI-based tool for customer success. And so what they've seen, and this is very typical, this is why I like this example, is they've seen a 2-minute reduction on average call handling time. They went from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. They had a 30% increase in net promoter score. That's gigantic if you look in the industry, right, on how you're increasing your customer success in that. A 70% uptick in customer satisfaction over the previous year. And then the rest becomes clear, I guess, the increased speed. That was the one for me with my doctor's office, right? It just takes far too long in this one. So I think those are key things to point out before I go to the next slide. I see there's another question coming in. I think that's a perfect leadway for you, James. Ina is asking, what are the 3 unique advantages of Zoom over other CX competitors? Oh, we're already jumping into Zoom. Thanks for that question, Ina. But I think that's a fair point, right? And let me jump to this one because this shows just an overview, but we can take it out in a second and just go into discussion mode here or live mode. But how do you define Zoom in that equation? How do you come in and how do you look?
Great question. Well, first of all, from an industry perspective, it's a really crowded marketplace. Okay, so we look at established players like Genesis, like NICE, and Avaya, for example. You see a lot of kind of these on-premise systems that have kind of grown as contact centers have kind of grown since the 1990s and going forward. And then during the last kind of 5-6 years, people like Amazon launching Amazon Connect, and then Zoom 2 years ago launching Zoom Contact Center and Zoom Virtual Agent. To win in this space, we need to genuinely bring some value to your customers, to Duppal's customers, and to our customers in general about how we're addressing some of these key challenges. So we can show cool features all day long because the platform's full of cool features and full of AI infusion everywhere. But it's the so what factor. If I'm deploying a messaging or AI-powered messaging service, what does that mean for moving contacts away from maybe an email channel or a form-based system to asynchronous messaging? Is that going to move the dial for first contact resolution? Is it going to change how my customers are delivering their net promoter against my business? That's one example. And then if we look at the voice channel, if I'm able to use voice in a voice channel and AI tools in real time, like knowledge-based management, agent next best action, automated wrap-up codes, for example, within my contact center, that's going to drive value for my agents and also average handling time. So if we look at the high-level business problem, Zoom addresses this by being really agile in the contact center space and looking really and helping customers of yours and around what their real challenges are. And I guess the key thing, I could talk all day on this, as I'm sure you can tell. The key thing is I come from the background of the customer side. So I before joining Zoom, I was the guy that signed the order form. I was the guy that sat on the customer side. And it took 2-3 years to deploy a contact center, to deliver digital transformation. But in this new age, that's too slow. We need to be able to start making meaningful change quickly. And that's what we do.
As a practical exam, right? And what Mark had said before, Peter is asking a question saying, okay, there are a lot of AI solutions out there, and we hear Zoom, but how would you find a great one versus one that has pitfalls that we should avoid. I think you in the preparation and I had a conversation about a package that I was receiving on DHL, and it was delivered to my neighbors. Okay, which neighbor? I didn't know, right? So I contacted DHL and I got a really, really friendly AI tool that replied to me and said, "Oh, we're so sorry that this didn't happen. It's with your neighbors." I said, "Which neighbor?" "Oh, we're really trying to see where that is, and we're going to help you, but can we wait 24 hours?" I said, "Why 24 hours?" "Well, maybe he's still on his road." I said, "Why do I get a message that it's with the neighbors?" So while the AI tool was extremely friendly, it didn't feel and didn't sense me, right? This is one of the pitfalls for me. I need to make sure I don't go down this drain of AI logic that is not seeing me as an individual. I want to be felt like when the sense of urgency or my tone gets angry, that gets recognized, that they offer me to talk to a live agent. "Oh, I see, I'm not able to help you. Can you tell me how Zoom is handling that? Is that something that is in your environment?"
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good example. And it is in our environment. But again, it comes back down to the fundamentals of customer journey design. So we can throw tools at the problem. We can say, "Oh, we'll just put some AI in."
Yeah,
But really, what are you trying to achieve here? And what I say when I do this kind of consultation and consultative approach with our customers is there's
yeah,
two things we need to do when a customer's interacting with us on whatever channel, whether that's voice, video, messaging, or email, or whatever. The
yeah,
first thing we need to do is understand the customer intent. So
yeah,
why is Axel contacting DHL today?
yeah,
Well, if I he's wanting to find out about his parcel.
yeah,
Okay. And I can be really smart here because if I can authenticate you, I know that it's Axel. I can proactively do a data dip into my CRM or into my parcel delivery system
yeah,
and then say, "Axel did have a parcel due to be delivered today, and it's been delivered, but to the wrong address."
yeah,
So first of all, we can understand the intent and then understand the data that we
yeah,
hold on that customer for that interaction.
yeah, yeah,
And that is where we then
yeah,
start driving personalization. So
yeah,
that's going to, by choice, start removing
yeah,
the frustration that you feel as a customer where you don't think that the bot or the process is really understanding you.
yeah,
Because we haven't harnessed the two basic things. Why are
yeah,
you contacting me? And what do I know about you?
yeah. Good point. And I think for me, the breaking point is where somebody is writing. I think it's Franz. Franz is writing. How long does it take to create a working AI CX virtual agent flow? Take. Yeah, I'm gonna let you show it, right? That will be probably the best, and we go live into the product there for a second. I think the part is that you shouldn't be fearful of is start slow and add gradually to that, right?
Correct.
So maybe it's just what are you calling about in the beginning? Oh, I'm calling for a doctor. But great, let me connect you to an agent. All right, what are you calling about? Let me authenticate you. What's your postal area code? I see your telephone number. Are you Excel, etc., etc. That could be a second step. And I've had this nice example of a company in Germany, James, where a newspaper organization that had a support line for people that did not receive their newspaper in time, right? So they had AI coming in, and people were calling in, and they were actually getting a voucher plus the newspaper at a later time of the same day, but they were getting a voucher. So the customer satisfaction went extremely up, and they were doing cross sells and upsells. So things that they hadn't expected in the beginning from their initial thought, all right, we just need to take the calls of people that haven't received their newspaper. They actually went over to selling more newspapers over that channel. So I think don't be fearful, but how long does it take, James? How difficult is it to create an intent-based or an AI-based flow?
I had a conversation with a customer in Sweden about this yesterday, and they've got a huge knowledge base. And I said, rather than going for 100 things, go for go after 5 or 10 things. The 5 or 10 things most repetitive, higher volume journeys that you can immediately make an impact with. Okay. And if you do that, to your point, you can start here and then start expanding and refining and really going super cool. So how long does it take? Well, let me. I'm gonna go into kind of show and tell mode if that's okay, Axel. Yeah. Let me kind of give you a bit of a brief overview about what it looks like under the hood from a Zoom perspective. If you gave me that challenge right now, what I would do is I would say, okay, have I got a knowledge base? Okay. So if I've got a knowledge base, I can leverage that knowledge base and start building my chatbot straight away. So I've got my side hustle, my favorite kind of other thing apart from CX is music and DJing, right? And next week in the UK is Glastonbury Festival, which is a massive festival. This is their knowledge base, okay? So I've taken their knowledge base, and what the Zoom product does is automatically learn all of the articles inside this knowledge base. So I don't have to do anything clever. All I need to do here is basically go to the knowledge base. I can say where does the knowledge base reside? In this case, this knowledge base resides on their website. Okay, what articles do I want to use and take? And then I automatically download the articles, and everything that sits inside these articles has now been learnt by my my chatbot, literally as quick as that. So I take the articles, learn the articles, train the model, 10 minutes. Next thing to do is create a virtual agent. So I create a virtual agent. Here's the virtual agent. I associate that knowledge base to the virtual agent, and then I can change a couple of settings. I have an automatically built flow, which then I embed on my website with one line of code, and I'm good to go. So I can get something going really, really quick. And this is really powerful because then we can start understanding about how our customers are interacting with the chatbot and get information from there. So it's rapid.
Yeah.
And it's about use cases and about knowledge. So the better knowledge you have, the more powerful your AI model is going to be, because you're able to take that knowledge and then train the model on your knowledge. And who knows the most about how your business works? You guys do.
Yeah.
So get those people writing the knowledge base and using the knowledge base. And it's remarkable and quick and easy. And
Let
then,
me
yeah, go
put you
ahead.
on the spot, James, because
Yeah.
you got this page right open right
Yeah.
now. I want to see how successful this Q or this help question was, right? This bot.
Okay.
Can you show me metrics on that if I want to find out?
Yeah, of course I can. Yeah. So say for example, I can go in. So this is the bot, right? I've got it running here on the BBC Glastonbury site.
Yeah.
This bot's called Avalon. I can go into here. I've been doing a little bit of testing with language translation, but we'll get there in a minute. We'll get there in a minute. I can start asking questions like, where where is the nearest train station? Okay.
Yeah.
I always this is proper live testing, by the way, here, rather than me kind of doing this before. And the AI's already done that for me. So not only do I not have to read the whole article, I can if I want to. Yeah. Generative AI has taken the right bit of the article and shown me that straight away. So is that helpful? Yes. And then, for example, I can say, I've got generative AI writing all the answers as well, but it's really cool. I can then say, is there a bus from the train station? Okay. And again, this isn't all I've done here is taken their knowledge base. So I'm trusting the model that it's going to be able to give me something useful.
Yeah.
So there is a free shuttle bus. There we go. Pedestrian gate A. Was it helpful? Yes. Okay, and then I can then start asking other stuff. Okay, so this works working really well. Okay, but to your point, how do I know what's happening under the hood? And this is the key thing around mastering the power of AI.
Yeah,
it's not just putting AI in; it's understanding what is my customers are doing and how I am interacting with my chatbot.
Yeah.
So if I go into my virtual agent performance as an example. And let's have a look at Avalon, which is the bot we've been looking at. Let's go and take a load of data. Let's go last month and maybe go right the way through to today and take a big chunk of data here. I can see, first of all my engagements. You can see it goes quiet on the weekend when I actually manage to get some downtime from the job. But I can also see in here, what are my most popular articles? How many times has that been seen? What are my usage trends? I look at queries and intents. What have people been asking about?
Yeah.
What was self-serviced? Where did I have to reach out to an agent? Where did the customer just disconnect?
Yeah.
And you can see in here, I've got things like our Coldplay on the pyramid stage. Yeah, I've had to coach the bot to be able to tell me about when Coldplay are playing.
Yeah.
So some stuff you have to do. And
Yeah.
what we've tried to do again, and it's back to mastering the power of AI. AI is everywhere in our Zoom platform. Let's get AI helping us coach and train my knowledge base.
Yeah.
So if I go into coach here, we've kind of gamified this. So I can, for example, go into Glastonbury Festival, apply my knowledge base, look at, I can even do some quick training.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how cool is this? We make it into fun. Where is the bus station? Well, that looks about right to me. I'll select that and maybe we'll have a backup article on getting here. And then I can coach the model. And then what do I need to pack? Well, packing list is pretty helpful. Coach the model. When do the gates open? Arriving, coach the model. So, we're making things interesting
Yeah.
and you're driving the car.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. And this whole static way of delivering customer experience
Yeah.
that we've grown up with over the past 20 years, that model's
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah.
We've deployed to the cloud, we've unlocked potential, we've got a great AI engine.
Yeah.
Let's use it and let's use the people in your customers' organizations that can do this.
Yeah.
Super powerful.
I think one of the questions here from B Nash actually hits the nail on the head. Can you say that? Yeah.
Yeah, go on, tell me.
And he says, I see the value in having the information from what the customer is asking in our tool, maybe even more than just helping him, right? That's an important part. But gaining the insight and knowledge on what they're asking specifically for gives us, a lot of information around the customer and the millions of interactions that we have with customers each year. Let me just make that as a mentor. Binesh, good question. Thanks for that. There's another question around multilingual capabilities. You just briefly alluded to that one. And I want to give this lovely example that when I was working the last year with a customer, and we installed their customer support environment in a non-Scandinavian language enabled country. Let me put it this one. I don't want to mention his customer name. That's all fine. But they were doing support in their native language for Sweden. And you're going to ask yourself, okay, how in God's name? But we auto-translate, right? And that auto-translate is so powerful that you get your question in and saying, hey, listen, I need more leg space in Swedish. You need more leg space on my flight over to my vacation location in Greece. The person answers in his own Arabic language where they were located and says, yeah, I have a slot available for 130 euros. And it comes up in Swedish again, in perfect Swedish, not just, I have a hard time reading it, but in perfect Swedish over with a Scandinavian customer. Those interactions open up so many capabilities. I remember here in the Netherlands, we were so proud on speaking 3.2 languages because you're trying to solve so many customer issues around Europe. Now you can just take a single language agent and have them do multilingual support. That's mind-boggling to me, and it opens up so many chances, I think, for our customers. You want to touch on both points, maybe the information that you're
Of course
gathering?
I can. Yeah, and I'll even show you a live example in messaging. I'm very brave with the Zoom platform because I believe in this stuff. Right? I kind of do crazy demos where I've never really properly tried it before, but I trust the tech so much,
Yeah.
which is really because it just works, right? Zoom. First example on inbound voice or message or voice channels, the use of voice to change either the way we talk or deliver live translation services is really, I would say, kind of like technology under incubation right now.
Yeah.
So I've heard from like BPOs, so like outsourcers and some other firms that this could be a bit of a game changer for them. So do we kind of disrupt or be disrupted? I guess the question is here.
Yeah.
I think we've got to try it and check and understand the use cases. I would say is something that I would recommend. However, if I'm a brand, I also need to really think about authenticity here. So, what do I say to my customers or the people I'm supporting about using this technology? We hear on the agent side, there's been some analysis saying that it reduces a lot of stress and makes people feel easier to deliver that customer experience, but go into it eyes open. So that's really, I mean, it's technology, it's emerging tech. We're going to see a lot more on the voice side for sure. On the messaging side, well, we can do that now, right? And I mean, we can do live translation, we can do, you know, transcription services. The voice changing element is obviously something that's the emerging tech side of things. But what I want to quickly show you what we're doing from a Zoom perspective on the translation side of things as well. So again, another live example that I haven't really tested, but hey, I'm sure everybody's enjoying this show today. Let me go back to my screen, and if I go,
while you are
yeah,
sharing,
yeah, go ahead.
there's a question. Hey, are you sharing presentation after the session, guys? In your menu, you have a button called Resources. So if you press that, you have the presentation available, plus also contact links for James and myself if you want to reach us after the event. So feel free to grab that. But I'm going to push back to James now, going into his presentation. Sorry, James, but it was
Yeah,
just
don't worry. Okay, what we're going to do is take this journey and move this chatbot journey into an agent. Okay, so I'm going to kind of force it to chat with an agent. It might complain a little bit because I'm trying to fulfill in the channel at the moment. In fact, I'm going to come straight. I'm going to need more help. Yes. Okay. So now we're taking this into the agent. Now watch this first of all for the power of AI. Chat with us. This was the chat journey we did a second ago. I've already got a conversation summary asking about the nearest train station and if there was a bus. I already know that. So I'll accept the journey now into Zoom Contact Center, and then maybe we can send an auto response or whatever. I can just chuck right in there and talk to the customer. And then we can start delivering sentiment and everything like that, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so we can say, you know, is there any medical facilities or any medical staff on site? I don't know. And then we can start then not only understanding the intent, but also delivering the article. So there's another example of a simple use case of AI. I've already got the knowledge base, so why don't I give the agent the knowledge as well? You know, okay, and then copy that to the customer, and then send that away, and then we can get chatting. Okay, so I can say, brilliant, thank you.
This was fast for me, and I understand it. But were you just getting information from the expert there without having to type anything? So you had the question on the left, and the
Is there
expert
any
was looking for
medical
the
staff
answer.
on site? Yeah. And then you have this little icon, like the sparkly icon.
Yeah.
The sparkly icon automatically gives you information from the knowledge base that you've associated. It's really amazing. But what we're trying to do now, which is quite interesting, and I'm going to give this a little go because I'm feeling fairly brave. Can you see here I can do start translation?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I take this and I've kind of like partially prepared in another window some Dutch language, and I've not actually even tested this. I haven't tested this before, by the way, folks. So this is like literally running like proper Zoom live TV show. Let me put this in to the customer side, and let's see how it works when it comes through to the agent. Okay, so let's see what happens now. Where is the nearest train station? Thank you very much. And then the bit that I haven't done, because I'm still working on this at the moment, if I had a Dutch knowledge base, I'd show the Dutch knowledge base and send that to the customer. I mean, come on. That's game changing.
Yeah. All right. So we've seen a lot of the powers now, right? If I'm a customer, I'm probably on my toes right now, like, oh man, I want to try this out.
Yeah.
But I don't have AI yet, and I have a contact center tool, but I'm doing the old IVR stuff, maybe still helping the customers the best I can. What are the best first steps that they need to take instead of, of course, calling you, but what are the first steps that they should think about?
Before even deciding on vendor or anything, what are you trying to achieve? Okay, that is ultimately it. And we've got to think as industry people here.
Yeah.
Because if we think as industry people, we're going to do the right thing by our customers. Yeah. And we're also going to do the right thing by the people that are using these solutions.
Yeah.
So what am I trying to achieve? It isn't an IT thing about putting in some SIP trunks or moving to the cloud is obviously important. But it's when you've got this capability, what are you actually trying to do?
Yeah.
Are you trying to eradicate email? Are you trying to deflect more traffic from voice? Are you trying to deliver video services where applicable. Look at those use cases and think about the customer journey and what that looks like and where those pain points are today. And if we can have that type of conversation, that is way more valuable than going, let's just go and put some AI in. Because you're going to struggle and you're going to end up with a rubbish customer journey. But if we look at it that I would like a chatbot with 100 articles where it will answer my top 10 inquiries, and I'll be able to self-service this, and this. That's a great starting point.
I like that. And that, I think it nearly answers Rasmus's question. He says, okay, that's undoubtedly powerful. What type of use cases and type of organizations would you see with the biggest value of using this? I think you mentioned that. I think that tech support is an eye-opener, but it's information sharing, right? It could also be going into the sales arena, as I said before.
Totally, support arena.
When I see the AI expert popping up and saying, hey, listen, this is the answer to your question. It reminded me of my young sales days when, so how does this compete against product A, B, and C? How great would it have been, right, if I had the answer right at the fingertips there for me to give the right answer as a junior salesperson. But as a junior support person, you have the same question. But
I mean, this is brilliant, right? Because the icing on the cake here is that is that we know where the value of AI is, where we can leverage the power of machine learning and large language models to deliver information to customers and agents. Okay, that's the use, and obviously to do cool generative AI things, and we could talk about it all day long, blah blah blah. But when I've got a human, this is where AI and human work together. So let's just quickly go back to the screen. Okay, so I could, if this was a support inquiry, move this to a video call straight away. So just imagine that I can go video call, send an upgrade, and then we can join the video call here for the customer on their Mac, on their PC, on their cell phone. It's the human touch working together with AI where I bring my brand or my service or my healthcare to life and help people. And if we're in the business of helping people and doing the right thing, this is where we can be creative, help people, and really make a step change in customer experience. That's why I'm excited about it, because it's interesting and it allows us to be creative.
I mean, it's that personal approach, right? I think last week you had the failure of a huge travel agency in Germany, and people were literally still on the island trying to fly back and had a question: can I still fly? Right? So in that way, just going into a page that doesn't give you all the information, the phone lines were occupied. But if you could have gotten through to a live person that then answers you the question right in front of that gives you the confidence in a situation where you might be having crying children around you, not knowing how you get home. I think that's the part of giving that confidence level. And I think that video part at your private bank, I'm thinking about this one. But also if I have to get a special treatment for my doctor's appointment, right? The normal ones are all covered, but now I need maybe a special operation, treatment, medicine that is out of the ordinary. I'd like to have a personal interface and a personal conversation around that. That's just me, right?
And I think that's a really good point. And you talk about why Zoom. I'll tell you why Zoom, and I can say this confidently because I've been on the customer side. Zoom are brilliant at all this real-time information. So as we're speaking, this is one webinar. There's hundreds, thousands of other webinars going on across the globe right now. Millions and millions of meeting minutes and phone minutes and contact center minutes being delivered day in, day out on our platform. The fact that we can do real-time information so well it's brilliant, because with that real-time information, I can look at customer intent, what I know about the customer sentiment, the right channel of choice, the ability to summarize conversations, the ability to translate conversations. It's not like we're some little techie startup that's doing this the first time round. We've been doing it for 10 years. And all we're doing is leveraging those use cases that work so well in meetings and phone and looking at them with a CX lens on. And that's the reason why we can do this quickly, we can do this impactfully, and why we're working with partners like Duppal, because it just works. And in fact, it really does just work. I think it's amazing.
We're getting closer towards the end of our event time. If you still have questions, please. Thanks for all the great questions until now. Fire away if you still have some. Integrations is one thing that comes to my mind. It just makes the life of an agent easier. You showed us knowledge bases. What else can you do with tools that you want to bring in as third-party tools into that conversation, making that life more, or the interaction more richer?
Yeah, great question. Again, so it's an open platform. So back to use cases. If it's CRM out of the box, we can integrate into Salesforce, Dynamics 365, Zendesk, ServiceNow, a multitude of others out of the box. Okay.
So you read out the addresses. Now here's my question, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm an agent. I had this nice conversation over the phone with a customer. Now I have to go back and type in everything into the CRM tool?
Not at all. In fact, do you know what? You've almost read my mind here, because look at this, right?
Okay.
The conversation that we've just been chatting about, I've just closed this down.
Yeah.
But I've already got an AI-powered conversation summary that I can just paste. Done. The customer asked about the nearest train station, if there is a bus station. Send. Done. Nice. Okay, and that's in the most basic use case. Yeah, we didn't really go to town on an exciting conversation.
Yeah.
But then talk to me about average handling time. Talk to me about first contact resolution. This is real use cases for AI.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, this is mastering the power. Use cases, metrics, and ultimately about delivering customer delight. And if we do making customer happy, Zoom core value. If we're doing that, we're doing the right thing. And then back to again, what my agent's doing. Well, we're going to go look at yesterday's conversations, find out if we had a missing knowledge base article, go and check these intent. It's interesting. It's dynamic. Very, very different to the old way of working.
Maybe the final one for me, is there a nice lookout that you want to share with us? I know this is all under the realms of can happen or cannot happen, but where is this going specifically with Zoom? What are the next steps that you're seeing where customers are asking for or hoping for that can make a dramatic impact still in that area?
Yeah. Okay. So we're kind of doubling down on full conversational, really. So conversational voice, conversational messaging is more or less there.
Yeah.
Give or take a few tweaks, and making things more real. And again, what we also talked about translation services, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doubling down on. And obviously, one thing that we must remember at all costs, guys, we can do this confidently because we've thought about the basics. So you asked me about data centers. We have EU mainland data centers. We have, a whole story on data at rest and data in transit. All these things that we can't take for granted.
Yeah.
We can help you with that and ensure that we're very, very credible in that space. And by having the credibility there means that we can take the conversation up here and start doing these funky stuff like we're doing now, and also what we're delivering going forward.
Yeah. Awesome. I think we should leave it at that. We're actually at the 45-minute range. Okay, there's one last question. Oh, the 44-minute range. This really changes the traditional KPIs for contact center operations. What KPIs should one be looking at?
Customer effort.
Customer effort?
I would say that is the number one. Okay. So how difficult is it to do something? So we can look at first contact resolution, which is super, super important. FCR is up there. Customer effort score is really important. So if I wanted to talk to somebody or video call somebody, how difficult is that? Did I get the information I needed? So I think customer effort is something that's hugely underrated, and we need to think a lot more around customer effort. So if I continued that video journey as an example, I don't have to download the Zoom client. It opens in my web browser. It transitions those channels automatically. That's a huge reduction in customer effort. So if customers know that it's easy to interact with my business, it means that they're going to come back time and time and time again. And as my business, I can differentiate my offering on CX, which is huge.
Yeah, I think I couldn't have finished it on a better note than this one. James, thank you very much for your time. It was awesome to talk to you today. Everyone in the audience, thank you very much for your time, for your great questions. And I hope we can meet many of you. Feel free to contact us. You have seen the presentation. Visit us at duppal.com or zoom.com/contact center and find out more about the opportunities that you have with that. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.